Dun, 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 dun. Oh boy. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Make sure everything's running good. Mic check. Video check. Voice check. I gotta put this on here. I ain't gonna make it tomorrow. All right, guys, get ready to start the show. This is a pop up. This means I don't know what's gonna happen. We got plenty of time. We're gonna start the show right after this word. Good afternoon, content creators. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Sunday Funday. This is the first Sunday in October. I mean, this year is going like crazy fast. That means in 11 months, I might be on another cruise. So we're going to talk about that. Guys, thank you guys for coming on Sunday Funday. I hope you enjoy yourself. Before I get started, let's guys just take a moment and just thoughts and prayers for the people in the Southeast that got hit by that major hurricane. You had a great cruise on the Celebration. Oh, you're going on? Yeah. Okay, so DD22. If you want to come in and talk to me, I got the link up there. If you want to come in and talk about it, we can talk about the Celebration. I've been on the Jubilee. We can talk about that too, but we need to talk about what's going on in North Carolina. Guys, pray for them. They've been very, very difficult. Okay, hold on. Let me go ahead and do this. Make sure. Gotta make sure they are on. Hold on. Yeah, I'm cooking too, so I'll be going back and forth for cooking. So, all right, hold on. Dun, dun, dun. Cowboys don't play till tonight. All right, nothing's happening. Gabby, just a second. I had some communication issues with this. I need to. Let's see here. YouTube. I'm trying to get some information. Give me a second. Trying to get the weather report. Because I got to put some macaroni in the water. Let's see. Okay, Hurricane HQ. That's what we want. Yeah, but looks like it's
advisories. The pressure did not change at all, but the winds came up about 5 miles per hour or so. Now, Here's the forecast cone, and again, this has been updated a little bit here with the latest update. This would be Wednesday, right? So Wednesday and then Thursday. So sometime I'd say late Wednesday into Thursday is when we're going to see the worst of this storm moving through Florida. Now, this is a very large area of uncertainty here. The center of the storm could go on the south side of that cone. It could go on the north side of that cone. It could go right in the middle of the cone. If anything here, the biggest difference that I noticed between the last advisory and this one is that the cone has shifted just a little bit toward the south. So right now that seems to be the trend, but you can definitely have wobbles that go back and forth with those trends. We're still 3 days out. And I was talking with Rick off air about this. I think he made a really good point. Let's not get too focused on that southward trend of the cone. This would be a good trend for the areas that were most heavily impacted by Helene, but we'll watch that closely and keep you updated.
Yeah, I tell you, there is so much uncertainty still. Some certainty. We know it's going towards that central Florida area, but we don't know exactly where the center is going to happen. We do know, though, that central Florida is going to take a beating from this. Here's some look right now at Tampa, Sarasota, Crystal River, Cedar Key. All spots are going to have some impacts. Crystal River, by the way, the farther northernmost point there, and they certainly had bigger impacts from Helene. Probably not as much from this one. We'll see. A lot of rain to be had for everybody. And Florida, at least the west coast of Florida, because of multiple storms, Helene and Debbie earlier this summer, that has caused already a lot of that western coast to be really saturated. A lot of the spots 20 plus inches above typical rainfall for this time of year. We're going to get a lot of rain for everybody. Almost everybody's going to see 5 to 10 inches of rain. That means everybody has that threat of flooding. Who gets the worst of the wind, though, is going to be probably a little bit of a smaller area, and that's certainly right across central Florida. One of the things that's going to be interesting, we're obviously going to talk a lot about where the center of this comes on shore and who gets worst of the storm surge. That is going to be potentially deadly, certainly destructive. But even because Florida is so narrow, it's only about 90 miles across, a strong storm coming on shore on the west that's moving pretty quick. We will likely have hurricane force wind gusts on the east side of Florida. And by the way, Orlando, you could be in on that, where you could have hurricane force wind gusts in the Orlando area, in addition to the very heavy rain.
Hold on. Oh, let me get here. Somebody knocking on my door. Somebody read the door. hold on.
Someone knocking at the door.
Somebody read the door. Do me a favor.
Z-Man, how you doing?
What's happening, bro?
Hey, man, I just, we just got off that celebration, Z, and I'm going to tell you, Z, it was fantastic.
Yeah. The XL class ships. What did you like about the celebration?
Really, I'm gonna tell you, just the core of the ship, it's different than the Jubilee and the Mardi Gras, but if it makes sense, it's still the same, but it's different. And what I mean by that, the specialty restaurants, the drinking places, like on the Jubilee, on the Mardi Gras, I believe you have I forgot the name of that restaurant. It's like a restaurant from New Orleans, and on the celebration you have like where they dress up as airline pilots. The Latitude.
Oh, okay.
And that's a good restaurant. I mean, it's a good drinking hole. I put it like that. But Z, I'm gonna tell you, I'm hoping you can get on one of these cruises with me soon, man. We leaving out of Florida again in April.
Right.
But I would love to have you on that with me, man.
Well, I'm thinking about going on the cruise next year on the NCL. They can bring that new ship into Galveston.
It's great.
It's gonna cost you a good grip, ain't it?
No, it's cheaper than Carnival.
Huh?
Yeah, they're cheaper. The one that's a cabin, mid deck, $1,300.
Oh, that ain't bad. Well, you see, I need to shave like you, man.
No. My pastor is doing that hike trail to Africa. He's gonna climb one of the mountains for charity.
Oh, okay. That'll be nice. So what's been going on, Z, in the cruise world?
Well, we had to talk about that hurricane, man, and there's another one coming your way.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, when we were out there, uh, they were predicting that we were gonna have one,
Mhm.
but somehow we dodged the bullets. And I'm gonna tell you, Z, I cruise every year in September, and I'm gonna tell you, I've never ran into a hurricane.
Uh,
And I've been doing this for quite a while, Z, and I've never run into a hurricane ever since I've been on the water. So I know some people say, that it can happen. Yes, it can happen, but
yeah.
thank God it ain't never happened to me.
Oh yeah, yeah. It haven't happened to me also, but I can't handle it. Please. Me and my dad used to go deep sea fishing off of New Jersey, a place called Belmar, and they got some waves, like 10-foot waves. And it's like, man, that's nothing. We're just fishing, everybody figure with it. Me and my dad would, we grew up in near the ocean all the time. But yeah, I, 10 foot don't bother me, please.
But let me give you a little cookie or a gift. Let me tell you this, Z. I'm gonna tell you. Carnival got this cruise director named Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm gonna tell you, that guy has really showed up and showed out for Carnival. Uh, I'm gonna tell you, I gotta throw him up there with Kendall Fire.
Oh no, you
Because
can't do that. You
I,
can't.
I
You
I I
can't.
I I ain't saying he right up there with her. He right up in that. He on that same tree. I'm gonna put it like that. He on that same tree with Kendall because he really did make that cruise. When I tell you it was jumping, if you go to my page, you'll see he had it jumping, man. The whole cruise.
So yeah, I had done it on YouTube a lot. I've been doing that stupid TikTok and driving me crazy. They got knuckleheads up there. TikTok.
Okay.
But yeah, Kendall's on vacation now.
Yeah, she is.
She's
I know
over.
you. I know. I'm quite sure you've been keeping up with Kendall.
Oh yeah, she lives about 75 miles north of me. So
Oh, really?
yeah, she's a Texan.
Okay.
The,
Y'all them cowboys down there.
boy,
Yeah, yeah.
Cowboys.
But Z, I appreciate you accepting me in,
No worries.
and I just want to come in and show you some respect and show you some love.
Man,
And Z, you do the man. Z, keep doing what you're doing. Z, keep
I'm just saying. I'm just
keep
saying.
doing what you're doing.
I need to get back into Swedish things because I have not been on YouTube for a while. So I need to get back and hustling and bustling.
Well, maybe if you quit cooking all them peach cobblers out of the crock pot, you'll be able to focus on the cruise.
Yeah. Well, dude, you gonna make me cook it now? You just
But hey, I just made one.
oh, did you put your special sauce in it?
Yeah, but no, I put the oven instead of the crock pot.
No, I'm talking about the special sauce.
Yeah, I put rum in.
Yeah, I put Fireball in mine.
Oh, you put that. You have old cinnamon tasting peach
Cinnamon.
cobbler.
Yeah, yeah.
I never tried it. Is it pretty good with that?
Oh man, you don't put too much, but it's good. It's real good.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm gonna try that, Z. I'm gonna
yeah,
try that.
yeah. You like if you like cinnamon, you'll love it. You love it.
Okay. Well, Z, like I said, I just want to stop in for a little bit, show some respect and love to you, and tell you keep on doing what you're doing, and uh, Carnival.
Hmm.
I know I hear people talking about other cruise lines, but I'm gonna tell you, Z, Carnival to me is number one, second to none.
Well,
They number one to me, second to none.
so are you in Florida?
No, I stay in Chicago.
Oh man, you're way out there.
Me and Coach Cruz, we hold it down this area over here.
You're in Chicago. Yeah. You be careful out there in Chicago. You know they got crazy people up there in
Well,
Chicago.
I'm gonna tell you, Z, I've been in it all my life, so I know how to stay out their way, and they know how to stay out mine.
Yeah, stay away the south side of Chicago. Don't go there at night.
Maybe,
I
maybe you come up here and I'll take you through a tour of the south side of Chicago.
oh God, no.
I think you'll like it. I think you'll be impressed.
I think I need to bring you down here to Dallas and Fort Worth and go to a real stadium like AT&T Stadium. I got
Oh
the
man, here you
I
go.
got
Here you go. Now you know them guys ain't finna do nothing this year.
no.
They
I talk about the stadium. They got concerts. They got Jerry renting out to anybody, and yeah, I got the hookup, man.
Okay, well, I'm gonna hold you on that, Z.
I
But
got
again, Z, I just want to come in for a second, say hi and everything.
all right.
And I ain't gonna hold you because I got some things I got to do around the house.
All
But
right.
I
Well,
just want to.
thank you for coming in.
You got it, Z.
Appreciate it. Y'all keep sitting up there, and y'all playing today, the Bears.
Yeah, we playing today. We
Uh,
playing today, and so I got a few things to do before I sit down and watch them beat on. I believe they playing Jacksonville.
oh Lord,
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So I want to take care of this. But Z, again, keep doing what you're doing.
You
God bless you, and I'll see you soon.
appreciate
JD
it.
Cruises out.
All right, appreciate it, man. Wow, J.D. Cruz. Wow. You know what? I didn't. It's funny. I did not plan to do that. I did not know he was going to come up because this is just a last minute pop up. So, guys, check out JD Cruises. They did a cruise on the celebration. Check out the video. Show them some love. Give them some comments. Give them some thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to JD Cruz, go ahead and do that. Hey, we got Crystal Sparkles. Hey, girl, how you doing? Yeah, we're not awesome. We're just regular folks. But yeah, so to everybody, Bud Files, thank you for coming in. But JD Cruz, check the channel out. He's from Chicago, so we give him a break. But yeah, we might have to go on a cruise. If you're listening to JD Cruz, me, you, and One Strong need to go on a cruise because he's from Detroit. We can hang out in Chicago. If I knew he was in the car, I would have go to him. Anyways, as I say, I am cooking some stuff. Crystal, thank you. I'll put that back on because we have some big weather coming up this week in Tampa. So if you're going on the cruise, hold on.
Rain. Orlando, just think about all the population that's going to, in that, along Interstate 4 from Orlando that cuts down towards Tampa. Could be a really dangerous time to be on the road. You don't want to be making any kind of last minute moves because of that. And look at potentially that heavy rain that's out across Cape Canaveral over towards Daytona Beach. Daytona Beach last year with Ian, or when Ian happened, Daytona Beach had massive impacts from it all the way across the state. This would be one of the storms, I think, where the east coast of Florida, while you're not getting the direct landfall, could be having some really big impacts from this as well, Ari.
You know, the interesting thing about this storm also is how quickly it came together. You know, I was on air a couple days ago. I think it was on the 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. show 2 days ago. And I was telling people, I would really not worry about this one too much right now, but we've got our eye on it.
Right.
It escalated quickly. I mean, just through the overnight there. What is today? Sunday. So that was on Friday. So Friday night into Saturday, I came to work yesterday, and I'm looking down at this thing like, oh boy, I think it's going to be a problem.
Last weekend, they were giving it, I think, a 50, 60% chance of developing within the next 7 days. And then they lowered that. The National Hurricane Center lowered that down to about a 30% chance. Seemed like conditions were not going to be as favorable. And then we saw this flare up out across parts of the Western Gulf. And by the way, this is moving in a really abnormal direction for a hurricane. I think this only happened twice in history, from what we can tell, that it's moved from that Western Caribbean Western Gulf to the eastern.
Yeah, I mean, usually you'll see a storm form in like the Western Caribbean, kind of like Helene did, and then end up in the Gulf of Mexico. But the idea that there's a storm forming in the Bay of Campeche and moving toward Florida, again, it's not like it's never happened before, but it's extremely rare. So a couple of things that played into this one too, and I'm curious your analysis on this, Rick, but I think what played into this was we had a kind of a stalled out front that draped down into parts of the Gulf of Mexico. And then we also had some kind of the leftovers of a tropical system from the eastern Pacific here. And at first, this was kind of a big, broad area of low pressure. We're trying to hone in on some spot that was going to form out of it. There was an area of low pressure on the east side of it, and then this one on the west. That one clearly won, I would say.
Yeah, generally, we've talked a lot about that Central American gyre, where something actually kind of spins up. And you're right, that front, by the way, a little bit very loosely attached to Helene. Kind of the front that pulled Helene to the north, that front ultimately kind of stalled down there right across parts of North Florida down in towards the Gulf. And that's where we saw this little flare up that's happened. So all of these features are attached to each other in weather, which is really fascinating. And now that has turned into our big storm here.
And it's really no surprise. I mean, when you look at the water temperatures out here and the fact that there wasn't much wind shear around, it just found a nice little spot. You know,
right.
the atmospheric conditions are always different in every different situation. There happens to be low wind shear. There happens to be a lot of moisture. There happens to be very warm water. Of course, this time of year, the water is pretty much always going to be warm down there this time of year. But again, it's a little bit more of a frequent situation to get a storm forming in the Western Caribbean. This one, I think it's going to undergo rapid intensification, right? I will say this, Rick, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm open to your opinion. I think this is kind of an overhyped kind of thing, rapid intensification. It's been around forever. I think a lot of storms undergo this rapid intensification. I feel like if the criteria was a little bit more than this 35 miles per hour, then it would be more of a big deal, right?
I would only say that our Atlantic basin water temperatures are off the charts, and they have been for the last 2 years. And so that gives another chance for more rapid intensification. By the way, that warmer ocean temperature allows more moisture to be pulled into these storms. And we saw that with Helene, that warmer ocean there, put more water into the storm that dumped more water out from Helene. So you're right. It is something that's always existed, just like a polar vortex has always existed.
That's right.
Derechos have always existed. But, you know, we are seeing this because this ocean right now, at least, is very warm, gives it a better chance for that rapid intensification.
Well, maybe I think you make a good point. I mean, maybe at one point it was a unique thing to happen, and now it's just been happening so much more frequently that it sounds like it's happening all the time.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Milton. Of course, we're going to be tracking this pretty much throughout the entire week. We could see it achieve major hurricane status. I think that's pretty likely. It's expected to make landfall as possibly a major hurricane. It could be a little bit less than that. Again, there's still some uncertainty as far as how strong it's going to be. But for people on the west coast of Florida, now is the time to prepare. All right?
Yep.
Significant.
Now is the time to prepare. That's what these people are saying. Now, in the west coast of Florida, it is time for y'all to get it straight. Since y'all went to the last one, this one's going to be a lot more rainmaker. It should be around the west coast of Florida. Hold on. We got breaking news, I think. Give me a second. I got to switch. Let's see if I hope I don't get commercials. Let's see here. Yeah, we got commercials. Give me a second. All right, hold on. Okay. Let's see here. We got breaking news. Yes, breaking news is more. It's important.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
There's an update on Macron and Netanyahu. I'll turn the sound back on here. Let's do it this way. There we go. There we go.
All right, we got breaking news. We'll go ahead and do this.
Mikey says French have close relationship with Lebanon.
Really? Mm-hmm.
They were France ran Lebanon for a while. I don't have the exact years.
Okay, hold on. Let's see here. All right, let me go ahead. The reason why I did that breaking news is I have a cousin on my dad's side of the family that's on one of those destroyers that are in the Middle East. And basically, they said they're on high alert. Uh, Apparently, this week, Iran has some ballistic missiles hit going towards Israel, and one of our destroyers knocked some of those missiles down. So yeah, it's getting intense, guys. It's getting very, very intense with that situation. I have a friend of mine that just retired. He used to work for Lockheed Martin, and he used to do the maintenance for the F-35s. And the Jewish state, the Israel has a F-35s. Um, if it gets real serious, they might try to get him back to work on a contract. But he's retired. But he's saying that those F-35s, they need maintenance a lot. So basically, it's a brand new airplane. So yeah, and that's why I put the Middle East on because I'm interested. We're all interested. The other breaking news this week was that hurricane that hit Florida and Georgia, Carolina, and Tennessee, and just pray for them, guys. I know it's not going to be on here for a while, but yeah, guys, pray for them. That's why I'm here. We'll be here for a couple more minutes, and they're gonna finish cooking. But yeah, the cruising scene, a lot of weather, especially Gulf of Mexico. I don't think there's any cruises going to leave out of Tampa Wednesday, so they're going to close that up. Hopefully, they don't have no major damage to Tampa. Uh, the last uh, the last hurricane, they had to close Tampa. They had to close the whole port in Tampa, and cruise ships. The cruise ships had to get out of the way, especially the Jubilee. Oh, by the way, here's excuse me, the Carnival Jubilee had to change course Saturday as they left. A couple hours after they left Galveston for a medical emergency. Uh, uh, there's obviously they had to turn around. Oh man, okay. Hold on. Okay, give me a second. We're gonna go back. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm gonna go back to the weather. It's at 8:40 p.m. Let's see here. All right, go ahead and put the light on. All right, I'll be back.
there, I'm Kiana Lewis, and today we are talking about hurricane names. You've probably heard us meteorologists call these storms by names, maybe even your name. But have you ever wondered how they've gotten their names? There are 21 alternating male and female names that the National Hurricane Center issues to any storm that qualifies as either a tropical storm or hurricane in the Atlantic Basin, which includes the Atlantic Ocean, the Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico. These names are chosen by the World Meteorological Organization. There are 6 lists that the World Meteorological Organization rotates through annually. However, there are specific names that can be retired if they are deemed too destructive or too deadly. For example, these are storms like Hurricane Michael, Harvey, Katrina, and even Sandy. Most recently, Hurricane Fiona and Hurricane Ian, devastating storms that left a lasting impact on the areas and communities affected. Nearly 100 names have been retired from the Atlantic Basin since 1954. Fox Weather is your hurricane HQ. Make sure you download the app today. Fox Weather, weathering it together.
All right, welcome back. Milton is expected to rapidly intensify as we approach midweek. It's probably going to make it up to major hurricane status at some point during its track. It's still a little bit unclear as to what the exact strength of it's going to be when it makes landfall, which will likely be sometime late Wednesday, possibly into early Thursday. The trends have been a little bit slower as far as the speed of the storm goes. So there are some things we know. There's a lot that we don't know. What we do know is that a hurricane is going to hit the west coast of Florida at some point during the middle part of the week. What we don't know is exactly where. That's the cone of uncertainty there. And that's showing you the whole area of uncertainty as far as where the center of the storm could track. So this is a much larger cone than we had with Helene. Helene was a much more easy to forecast storm. This one's a little bit of a different situation. We're probably going to start to see some hurricane and storm surge watches issued for the west coast of Florida today. We already have tropical storm warnings that are in effect for the northern part of the Yucatan Peninsula, and there's going to be a lot of strengthening that goes on with this storm over the next few days. Now, in general, this is a very favorable environment for this storm to form. This is actually a pretty rare type of event. The idea that we get a storm that forms in the Bay of Campeche and then moves toward Florida. That does not happen very often. It's happened a couple of times in recorded history, but the more, classic setup is a storm.
Okay, so we have cruisers to the house. Thank you for coming in. If you're coming in late, thank you for coming in. I am here. The latest update, the latest news, the Jubilee had to circle back and had a medevac a person that had a medical emergency, so they had to circle back. I think they were like 5-6 hours out of Galveston. So they had to go back near Galveston, so the Coast Guard could be called. You get that helicopter in there and take the patient out back to Galveston or Houston. So we have another tropical storm. The Jubilee is probably getting rough seas. Hopefully, they won't go to the. It's going to be difficult to go where they're going to go. I think they're heading for Cozumel or Cozumel or Honduras first. I think they go to Cozumel first, but I'm sorry, it's the definition of the weather report. Hold on, let me go ahead and do this real quickly. All right, I'm big. Yeah, I'm too big. Yes, I know I'm fat. Okay, go ahead and go back. Yeah. Thank you, Nightbot. Hit that like button. Always hit that like button. Yeah, so that's what's happening so far. I'm also cooking, so I gotta put some stuff in. So Chris Nuts, that's what I'm cooking. I'm cooking my world famous filet of leftovers. That's what I do. Yeah. I gotta start doing the fast food, It's fast. All right, hold on. So we're gonna put this back on. I gotta put more ingredients in the pot, and I'll be back.
Storm that forms somewhere in the Caribbean, ends up somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico, and then goes into Florida. This is just kind of a very unique situation, and it's just a much more complex atmospheric situation to forecast than what we had with Helene. With Helene, we just had the big dip in the jet stream. We had a big area of high pressure out here, and there was nowhere else for the storm to go except basically up toward the Big Bend. In this case, it's a little bit different. We've got a lot of wind shear that's closer to the coast, which actually might help us out a little bit with a little bit of loss of strength before it makes landfall. But it's going to be extremely important. This will likely be a smaller sized storm. And basically, the south side of it is going to be the area where we have the most intense impacts. We don't know exactly where that center is going to make landfall yet, so there's a lot to go before we have a perfect forecast on this.
9 feet deep. Here's the handle for you to walk in. Here's our bathroom. Oh, there's our toilet. Oh. Blind still working.
Yeah, so that was Bradenton Beach, not too far from Sarasota, if you're not familiar with the area. And the destruction of that property, just these piles of sand seen here on Treasure Island. Even more damage here in St. Pete Beach. St. Pete Beach is a spot that got really devastated. I was watching a lot of Michael Estime's work while he was down there doing reporting. He was talking to all these business owners. And I think he had actually been down there several times himself. So he was talking to these people where he had been to their establishments and they were just completely destroyed by the water to some degree. And they had to obviously do a lot of rebuilding. Now, storm surge, I think, is the most devastating part of a storm in general when you've got a strong storm that's making landfall. I want to be careful with how I say this because every storm's different, and obviously the inland flooding with Helene was a completely historic, devastating disaster. This is a spot, though, that's especially prone to storm surge.
It is. By the way, if the Southern Appalachian story hadn't happened, we would be talking about the storm surge that we saw from Helene.
100%.
The story got overtaken by this bigger loss of life that we saw up into the mountains. So the continental shelf there, quite shallow as it moves towards the coast. What is kind of what makes those beaches so special and so beautiful, and the color of the water so great, is that really shallow shelf right there. But now it also means you're one of the spots that is susceptible to storm surge. That water can get pushed more easily up to that area. And Brian Norcross has been breaking this down a lot, saying that because this is a smaller storm, your storm surge possibly won't be as expansive, and that could be one thing that maybe helps a little bit with this. That said, where the center of the storm comes on shore, you're still going to have that storm surge.
Yeah, and we still have a lot of uncertainty as far as where the center of the storm is going to make landfall, but it is going to be on the right side, or the south side, I suppose, in this case, where the worst of the surge will be. Norcross was also talking about how the storm may expand in size a little bit as it makes its approach. So even though there's some factors in play where it may lose a little bit of strength as it gets closer to the coast, it might get larger in size, which could make the storm surge.
Everybody there just needs to be preparing for the worst. Well, rescue efforts in North Carolina now largely turning to recovery missions as hope is beginning to dwindle, finding additional survivors. Volunteer organizations in some of the hardest hit areas are stepping in now to bring critical relief to the people who've lost everything. Fox News correspondent Madison Scarpino reports from Arden, North Carolina.
The number of deaths from Helene is only expected to rise as crews continue to search those hard to get to areas. Well, volunteer organizations are actually going out to those spots in helicopters. And we got a ride with Samaritan's Purse to get a better view of the damage. We're flying over the mountains of western North Carolina with Samaritan's Purse. The organization has been dropping off some key supplies to some of the hardest hit areas by Helene. That includes things like water, food, and baby supplies. Towns deep into the Appalachian Mountains close to Lake Lure are destroyed. Most of the few roads in and out were washed away. We saw collapsed bridges, piles of debris, and people's homes destroyed.
Wow.
The majority of stories we're hearing from survivors are of neighbors helping neighbors. Some people think there should be more federal help. But Samaritan's Purse and thousands of other volunteers jumped in to help impacted communities almost immediately.
I've been doing this for 35 years.
And I normally work in the big refugee areas and war zones and that kind of stuff. And this is it's a horrible event, and it is easy to underestimate it because it feels like it's in a contained area. It's a total disaster when you're cut off. People can't get out. The resources are not coming into them.
While clean water is still a top priority for these hard-hit areas, volunteers are also sending in Starlinks and other technology. Some people are still without cell service. In Arden, North Carolina, Madison Scarpino, Fox News.
Wow.
I tell you, this story in North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina needs to still get the energy that it's going to deserve. And it's going to be hard this week because what we have happening toward Florida now. South Florida will not be spared from Milton's wrath either. Part of the southern coastline expecting to get up to about 8 inches of rain, at least as of now. We could see 50, 60 mile an hour winds, as well as some storm surge. So where the storm comes on shore, this is going to be coming on perpendicular to Florida. And so it's going to have a right side of that storm is where the worst of the storm surge, worst of the wind is going to be, and that is going to cause all of the damage. But as you get away from that, we could be looking at really serious conditions even as you head across the shore, over towards Boca, over towards West Palm, down towards Miami. You're going to get a lot of rain from this as well, and certainly some really strong winds. So it's going to be a big story for all of Florida, obviously where the center of the storm will have.
All right, so here's the scoop, guys. Here is the thing. What happened in North Carolina it's a tragedy, and I would go further in depth prime time sometime next week, because I got a couple things to say about some people that we all know that did not do their job. Did not do their job. But this week is going to be difficult. We're gonna have another hurricane hit the west coast of Florida, and basically probably by Wednesday. So the Tampa airport will be closed. The port will be closed. If you get ready to go out this week on a cruise to Miami, guys, just check in your cruise company. Check them out. Call them up. They'll send you a regular text. Make sure you keep your text up to date with your cruise line. Make sure if you're doing the airport, you're flying into Florida, make sure you have a backup plan. Make sure you have insurance on that. There'll definitely be some delays, probably some cancellation. Airports will be closing Wednesday. So if you're already going on a cruise this weekend, make sure you have that planned out. It determines which this day is going to be going at, but more likely it'll be the West Coast. More likely it'll be Tampa area, all the way down, and then east towards Miami. Miami is going to get the. It's just going to be a bad situation. Make it worse. Make it worse. So what I'm going to do, because I'm hungry. I got something on the cooking right now, so I'm getting ready to end this. It was just a pop-up to tell you guys I'm still here, still chilling out. Plans. The cruise I was thinking about going on next year, it's like 50-50 right now. It's 50-50 right now because obviously I'm a solo cruiser, so I got to pay for the cruise, I got to pay for the flight, the hotel, and a scooter renter. So that's a lot of money for a person that's on a fixed income. So, so this is what I want to do. By the end of the year, I want to be monetized. I know it's going to be a lot of work. From now on until the end of the year, I'm going to be on every single day. So don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out the playlist. If you want to donate to the Z Show Foundation, go to my community page. Buy me coffee is still there. BMC link. Hit that link, please. Hit that link if you want to support the Z Show. And I'm sorry I had not been on past couple weeks. We had to deal with the hurricane. We had to deal with the stuff and situation in the Middle East. Yeah. All right, we're going to get out of here. I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank the special thank you for JD Cruises for coming in for a couple minutes with the show. I did not know he was going to do that. Cruise Nuts, Anthony the Fun, the One Line, BD22. And all you guys who are watching in the chat, are you watching this video live instead of watching the video? How can I say that? If you're watching this as a video, I'm right here. Yeah. But yeah, I'm here. But I'm here. Get ready to get out of here. Because I'm cooking something. I don't want to burn it. Guys, don't forget, take the time, pray for the people in North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. They have a very hard time right now. Pray for people in Florida this week. Another hurricane's coming. Why we need another hurricane? Yeah, we need another one. Another one. But guys, don't forget, stay tuned for more information next week. I'm going to try to be on every day next week. Make sure you hit that button, that bell. The bell will tell you when I'll be on. This is like an emergency pop up because I just feel like talking. Then I started cooking, and then that's my full concentration is cooking. All right, guys, don't forget. Do not drink and drive. Do not hang around the knuckleheads. And always, 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 always drink responsibly. Peace out. Deuces. And whiz out.